Tyson Fury trying to add Freddie Roach back to his team, according to new reports. We're going to talk about that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego in the back with some more boxing. Throw a like on the video. That goes a long way when you guys click that link in the description. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, do all that. Now, let's talk about it. Top stories. You guys see it on the screen, link in the description. You see DAZN, Tyson Fury wants me back in the corner, claims Freddie Roach. And Sky Sports. Tyson Fury asked Freddie Roach to rejoin his team, the legendary trainer says. All right, let's keep going. Tyson Fury wanted to again add Freddie Roach to his training team for the trilogy fight, the Hall of Fame trainer says. Fury spent time training at Roach's Wildcard Gym in California ahead of his first fight with Wilder, welcoming the veteran into his corner, which was then led by Ben Davison. Fury will defend his WBC heavyweight title on October 9th, right? Sugar Hill Stewart remains his trainer after leading him to a stoppage over Wilder in the second fight. Jorge Capetillo, the cut man who stitched up Fury's terrible cut in the second fight, has also rejoined the corner. And legendary trainer Roach could join too, he told Sky Sports. Quote, I had a couple guys fighting in Vegas when Tyson was there. I ran into him between locker rooms. He said, hey, Freddie, are you still going to train me? Right? You see it? I highlighted it for you guys. Are you still going to train me? I said, Tyson, anytime you want, you know where my gym is. You are always welcome. Fury is a nice guy, a good person, a good fighter. I was picking him to win that fight. I seen him as one of the best heavyweights. He trains hard. He's big. He's a good puncher, right? Fury built up the first fight in LA, including a stint at Roach's gym. Also Big Bear. He says, I worked with him for 6 weeks. Then he went to Big Bear and said to me, hey, Freddie, I can't breathe up there. I said, that's the altitude. Give it time. I think it's way overrated. Roach said about Wilder's claims that he lost the rematch due to a disloyal trainer. Fighters come up with crazy stuff. The best thing to do is win the fight, get in shape, do the right thing. Now, the great Ego Stradamus strikes yet again. So many questions when you're dealing with Tyson Fury. I predicted that Tyson Fury, if you study his patterns, Tyson Fury has a habit of constantly changing his team. Now, you can be on whatever side you want when it comes to Tyson Fury. However, you would be remiss to exclude the details I'm about to say in this video when talking about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has been accused of cheating in the Wilder fights. First and second fight. You guys see this article, Deontay Wilder double downs on Tyson Fury cheat accusations and claims the boxing world turned a blind eye to it, right? He said this on a podcast interview with PBC. He said it multiple times, in fact, and I guess they have the link right there. Now, the ironic thing is this. Wilder says the world turned a blind eye to it, to Tyson Fury's cheating tactic. But if you really pay attention, listen to what he's been accused of, and then look at all of the signs and details, you would have to admit that Tyson Fury's behavior actually supports these accusations. For example, Tyson Fury refused to fight Wilder. They had a 2-fight deal, and Tyson Fury tried to get out of it. This is documented fact. Tyson Fury tried to get out of the fight. He alleged that Deontay Wilder's contract had expired, even though we were in a global pandemic. It took for Deontay Wilder, his lawyers and team, to drag Fury and his team through court and instead get an arbitrator involved, a retired judge, Judge Weinstein, who made Tyson Fury honor his contract. Instead of just Tyson Fury doing the noble thing, doing what's right, he tried to run off and fight Carlos Takam, Ajit Kabiel. He then said that the December 5th fight would no longer happen and he was going to fight Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia. This is what Tyson Fury said. He did videos and said the the Joshua fight is coming soon, and these types of things. So to me, if Wilder accused Tyson Fury of cheating, that behavior did not look good, because you had a Tyson Fury who was trying anything in his power to get out of fighting a trilogy fight, to fight Joshua, a guy he says would lose to Deontay Wilder. He says Deontay Wilder will beat everybody not named me, including Joshua. He would sleep him and knock him out in a few rounds. So why was Fury so desperate to go fight Anthony Joshua, if that's how he felt? So basically you're saying Wilder is the second best to you and you owed him a fight. Why did it take for Wilder to take you to court? These things don't add up, because if anything, you could have fought Wilder, fulfilled your contract, fought him one more time, which now the judge told you you had to do, right? And you fight Wilder. If you beat him again, then you can put that to rest in the trilogy, beat Wilder again, and then you can still fight Joshua after. But the way Tyson Fury went about it, especially with my next point that I'm going to get to, there's no way he could fight Anthony Joshua this year. The judge already said fight Wilder or you need to retire. Those are your only two choices. If you ever want to fight again, it has to be Wilder. Give him that third fight or you have to retire. Then after the judge told Tyson Fury, you need to fight this man again, Fury agreed to it, signed on Top Rank ESPN on one of their live telecasts, signed the contract, and in true Fury fashion, he found a way to prolong it, just like he did with the Klitschko fight twice, right, in the rematch. And he tried to pull out of the first Klitschko fight, saying that he had an issue with the gloves. This is a common behavior from Tyson Fury. So if Fury did not in fact cheat, why is it always something prolonging, postponing, trying to get out of these obligations, right? These are things you must ask yourself as true boxing fans, and let me know in the comment section. So it doesn't look good. All these things look like Fury is guilty. Like now his latest thing is he was supposed to fight this Saturday, but conveniently weeks before the fight, they said he tested positive with the Rona. After Bob Arum assured the whole world that Tyson Fury was fully vaccinated, Tyson Fury's team came out and said, surprise, our fighter lied to everybody and is not fully vaccinated. Instead, Tyson Fury decided to get one dose of the vaccination and not show up or complete the second dose, and he ended up getting Rona, they said. After that point, Tyson Fury was seen at luxury car dealers days later, renting a car. He was seen at bars. He was seen in the casino in Las Vegas on the Strip, taking pictures, smiling. And, you know, old media said nothing about it. So whatever you want to say, this behavior is extremely bizarre from Tyson Fury. And it really sounds like he's guilty. Now, Ego Stradamus strikes again, as I mentioned. The thing with Tyson Fury is this. I told you he would switch his team. This is what he keeps doing. Notice the pattern with Fury. The first Wilder fight, he wears Everlast gloves. The Otto Wallin fight, he wore Everlast gloves, right? So you see, this was a difficult fight. You see, he was all bloody and stuff. He had Everlast gloves, right? In these fights. Tough fight for him. Bad cut, nasty cut. You see Everlast right there. But then Tyson Fury in the third fight with Wilder, all of a sudden he wore, in the first Wilder fight, he wore Everlast. His most recent fight before the Wilder 2 fight, he wore Everlast. But all of a sudden, when Tyson Fury beats Wilder, he switches the brand of gloves to Paffin Sport. You see it right there. And people say, hey, what's up with his glove? He cheated. Something was in his glove, or he had illegally packed his glove because look at the shape and all this, right? And now Freddie Roach is coming out saying that he's trying to add him to the team. This looks extremely bad. Again, how come Tyson Fury is in constant need of switching everything from his cut man to who's his lead trainer to his glove style to moving the dates? I mean, this looks extremely crazy to me. And it's funny that old media won't say anything. Like, what person needs to switch all these things? Like, you see fighters like, let's say, Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao's been with Freddie Roach for years. Cotto later joined Freddie Roach and ended his career with Freddie Roach. Tyson Fury is the only person that constantly needs to switch his gloves, switch the brand of gloves, move the dates around, try to get out of fights. And this is not weird behavior to anybody except for me, apparently, right? Now he wants to get Freddie Roach back. But I thought you had this infamous Kronk style and you knocked out Wilder with the Paffin gloves in the rematch, and you said you got Wilder's mojo in your back pocket. Why do you need Freddie Roach then? Sugar Hill at the press conference for the Wilder Fury 3 fight, Sugar Hill says that Tyson Fury is now a one-punch knockout artist. So what do you need Freddie Roach for? If you're confident and you stop Wilder, you didn't cheat as his team tries to act like, then tell me why Tyson Fury all of a sudden needs more help. You're a one-punch knockout artist. What do you need Freddie Roach for? This stuff looks extremely bad. I think Tyson Fury knows he can't cheat. Tyson Fury knows that Wilder is not playing. Wilder wants revenge. You can see Wilder's face and tell that Wilder was not playing with him, and now he needs all the help he can get. That's what I truly think. I think Fury cheated. I think Fury knows that he's gonna be under a microscope, and it's gonna be much harder and much more difficult. That's why he's pulling out, getting more time, trying to get in better shape, trying to play these mind games or whatever, because this was the first fight. You see how Fury looked. This was the first fight. You see how Fury looked, right? And now he needs new trainers, and he wants to switch his glove. Just ask yourself, why did he? If Otto Vailin, he had a nasty cut, he had Jorge Capetillo as his cut man, and this article just said Capetillo rejoined the team, then why did he get rid of Stitch Duran? He brought in Stitch for the rematch, and you liked his work, right? So why don't you bring Stitch Duran back? Why are you back to Capetillo? You had, in the first Wilder fight, you had Freddie Roach and Abel Sanchez, and Ben Davison and Ricky Hatton. The second fight, Ben Davison was around, but he wasn't your lead trainer. Ricky Hatton was there, Capetillo was there, but they weren't your lead guys. You switched it to Stitch Duran and Sugar Hill and Andy Lee. Why does Tyson Fury, a guy who's been a pro this long, why does he need so many different people in his camp? Isn't there a rule in boxing for how many people you can have? Like, how do you have 2 cutmen, 4 trainers? You want a 5th trainer? Like, this is crazy. Tyson Fury needs to be investigated under a microscope every move he makes. I didn't even know you can have that many people on your team. He got his masseuse, his brothers, 4 trainers. He wants Freddie Roach as a 5th trainer, 3 cutmen. I mean, this is just crazy. So you guys let me know if Fury did not cheat, as some of you guys believe. Let me know why he needs to switch his brand of gloves. What fighter is doing this? Like, you see guys like Floyd Mayweather, he likes Grant gloves, Golovkin. They just stick with what they know. Fury's the only one constantly switching his glove brand, switching his trainer, trying to throw people off the scent, but people are hip to it. Ironically enough, when Klitschko was fighting Fury, Tyson Fury threatens to call off the world title bout with Klitschko if he can't wear the gloves he wants, but he says unless Klitschko wants to fight bare knuckle gypsy style. So he threatened to not fight unless Klitschko wanted to fight him bare knuckle, which this is professional boxing, right? Tyson Fury feared being drugged after beating Vladimir Klitschko, which is ironically what Wilder said. So why did Fury fear being drugged, right? Klitschko fight. Tyson Fury warns he may not fight Klitschko after Roe with gloves manufacturer. Tyson Fury has warned he will not fight Klitschko if he does not have the right gloves for the heavyweight fight. Why is it always a charade and game with Fury? And this was over the Paffin gloves. Fury, the Manchester-born traveler, is contracted to wear Paffin brand gloves as part of the deal for the fight. But the self-proclaimed Gypsy King refused to wear the first pair that was sent for him to try out. So he complained over the Paffin. They sent me the gloves over which Vladimir has asked, and they have big giant thumbs, and they're about 2 or 3 inches bigger than normal, so the thumb is sticking out. Every time I was punching with them, my thumb was nearly breaking. No matter how we tried to break it in, it wasn't working. I was hurting my hands all the time. But conveniently, so he hated the Paffin gloves, and conveniently, in the Wilder 2 fight, the gloves that he hated so much because he said the thumbs were so uncomfortable and he was nearly breaking his hand, these are the same brand gloves that he decided to wear for the Wilder fight after wearing Everlast gloves in the first Wilder fight when he got knocked out, and then the Otto Violin fight where he got beat up. But now he wants to go back to the Paffin gloves that he so hated when he was fighting Klitschko. So just explain how any of this stuff makes sense, why Fury puts on gloves and now he has a magical performance, why Fury constantly needs to switch his trainers. Let me know in the comment section.